In this day and age, it's not uncommon to find creator watermarks on YouTube videos and internet photos. These show the ownership of the creator. Builders have done something similar for decades, stamping their company name or logo into newly poured cement, usually in sidewalks. I'm sure you've seen marks like these 100 times and never thought about it. But what about this one? Maybe as a kid you saw it at the park or school stamped into some old concrete. Perhaps seen it near government buildings, libraries, or in old sidewalks. But what does it mean? And who or what was the WPA, and why is its stamp in so many places? Here is the story of what those three letters in the cement means and how it left its mark on America. Hello, I am the History Chaser, your guide to chasing down those stories. It's 1935 and the United States is struggling to overcome the grip of the Great Depression. From coast to coast, there isn't a corner of the nation not touched, leaving thousands without jobs, hundreds of thousands on the move looking for work and shelter, and local and state governments desperate for solutions. All eyes are on President Franklin D. Roosevelt and his New Deal for help. President Roosevelt launched a series of new government agencies to provide the help. These new agencies became known by critics as the alphabet agencies for their use of shorthand letters like CCC, TVA, and FDIC. These were aimed to put unemployed men to work, stimulate the economy, and improve social and economic conditions. One of these was the WPA, or the Works Progress Administration, not to be confused with the similar agency, the PWA, or Public Works Administration. WPA commenced operations on May 6, 1935. WPA projects were administered by the Division of Engineering, with the construction and the Division of Professional and Service Projects, all under the leadership of future Secretary of Commerce Harry Hopkins. The WPA ran its own projects in cooperation with state and local governments, which supplied 10 to 30% of the costs. Usually, the local sponsor provided land and often trucks and supplies, with the WPA responsible for most of the wages and project leadership. WPA brought much-needed improvements to the nation's infrastructure. Miles of new roads and utilities often brought the luxuries of the 20th century to many rural areas for the first time. New libraries, schools, and hospitals gave communities access to education and health care. Gleaming new fairgrounds, grandstands, and music amphitheaters helped bring entertainment. The national parks also received upgrades from the WPA, including fire watch towers, hiking trails, and lodges. Many of the landmarks we enjoy today, including the iconic Dock Street Theater in Charleston, the Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles, and Timberline Lodge in Oregon's Mount Hood National Forest, bear the WPA mark. It wasn't just construction projects that WPA offered unemployed Americans. The WPA also offered training of different skill sets like housekeeping and manufacturing trades. This was one of the first examples of dedicated, wide-scale trade school training in the United States. Nationwide projects were sponsored until 1939, when with war broken out in Europe and China, the WPA began shifting to defense-related work. One of the projects that lost priority with the WPA was Mount Rushmore. In 1941, after the U.S. entered the war, all WPA efforts were moved to build new or expand current military bases and camps. They also helped research and lay out air raid plans and shelters for cities like New Orleans, New York, and Portland. One of the more notorious projects the WPA built was the Japanese-American internment camps, where 120,000 American citizens spent the war. As the war effort brought an end to unemployment, the need for the WPA faded away. WPA ceased operations in June 1943. In a 7-year span, it employed 8.5 million people working on 1.4 million projects across the country, including the building or repair of 325 fire stations, 2,500 hospitals, nearly 4,000 schools, 25,000 miles of sidewalks, and almost 700,000 miles of roads. Today, much of that work is still around and in service. Oftentimes, the courthouse or library of a community, if not both, are WPA projects, such as this library in New Orleans on Alvar Street. 80% of modern airports, such as Midway Airport of Chicago, Illinois, are ones that got their start as WPA projects. So keep an eye out for these little Easter eggs from history. Never know where they will be waiting for you. Have you seen a WPA stamp before? Comment down below where you have seen one. And if you know a history lover, please share this video with them. If you like to support our channel, please like and subscribe so other history lovers can find our content. You can also see the info box below for additional options to help the channel, and thank you. Have a great day.